Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy, Bengaluru. This is the daily news analysis. As usual, we discuss important articles from UPSC prelims, mains as well as interview perspective. So the first article for 28th October 2025 is about Election Commission kicks off SIR 2.0 in 12 states and territories. What is this SIR? SIR is nothing but Special Intensive Revision. So Election Commission of India has launched the second phase of Special Intensive Revision of voter list, which will cover 12 states and union territories, including the poll-bound Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Kerala, and Puducherry. So previously, this special intensive revision was conducted in Bihar, which was merged with controversies, but finally they concluded special intensive revision, and also the Bihar elections are being held right now. Now they are trying to expand this exercise to rest of the country. In the second phase, they will be covering 12 states, and after that, rest of the states will be covered. So, what is the highlights? So, it will cover around 51 crore voters across 12 regions. Voter list in these states and territories are to be frozen from Monday midnight. So, exclusion of Assam. In this exercise, Assam has been excluded because no SIR for Assam at present due to distinct citizenship provisions for Assam under the Constitution of India, under Citizenship Act as well, and also the ongoing Supreme Court supervision NRC is happening in Assam. So as a result, Assam has been excluded from this exercise, and a separate order will be issued for Assam later. So there will be special intensive revision happening for Assam, but that will be done for Assam itself, Assam only, because there are some issues which has to be dealt first. Then states covered under this new special intensive revision 2.0 is Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Kerala, and Puducherry. These states are very important because the election is bound. In the coming years, these states are going through elections. And then Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Gujarat, Andaman Nicobar, and Lakshadweep. And the timeline is House to House enumeration will start from November 9 and end on December 4, and the draft rules publication will happen on December 9, and the claims and objections will have a period of December 9 to January 8, and hearings and verification between December 9 to January 31, and the final publishment of the rules will be on February 7, 2026. So the background for this is the first phase of SIR was conducted in Bihar, where over 68 lakhs of names were deleted from voter list after verification. Most states last conducted SIR between 2002 to 2004, and the new revision aims to update and standardize the voter data, ensuring the accuracy in electoral rolls. What are the controversy and concerns here? The political opposition, the West Bengal, the Trinamool Congress, and the Tamil Nadu DMK government have expressed concerns over the timing, that this is maybe there is a political motive behind this move, because they are conducting the exercise just before the elections to these two states. Next, Kerala Election Commission of India has clarified that SIR will proceed as no local board elections notification has been issued in Kerala. And what will be the administrative measures in this one? Booth level officers will undergo training from October 28 to November 3, and new epic cards or voter IDs will be issued only to those with the changed particulars and not universally. So significance is, aim is to improve in the accuracy, inclusivity, and transparency of the electoral rolls. Many duplicate electoral rolls are there, and many of the people who have died are still considered as part of voter list. So those will be removed, and there will be new transparency, and all the double voter list etc. will be removed. And prepares voter database ahead of 2026 state elections in key regions, and highlights the constitutional role of Election Commission of India in maintaining fair electoral process despite the political pushback. So very important article. Next, Cyclone Monta set to cross Andhra Pradesh coast, red alerts in 16 districts. What is the context? IMD has issued a red alert for 16 districts of Andhra Pradesh as Cyclone Monta is expected to make landfall near Kakinada on the Tuesday evening or night as a severe cyclonic storm. Yesterday I already discussed about what is a severe cyclonic storm, how there is different stages of birth, childhood, mature, and dissipation in the stages of cyclone, and also explained what is a low pressure, depression, deep depression, storm, cyclonic storm, and severe cyclonic storm. So now this will be hitting the coast or having the landfall as a severe cyclonic storm, meaning there will be larger intensity and larger velocity of these winds, and also there will be more chances of death and destruction because of the severe cyclonic storm. What is the meteorological details of this one? It is discussed as a severe cyclonic storm according to IMD classification. Wind speed will be between 90 to 100 km per hour and gust up to 110 km per hour, and the trajectory is moving north to northwest, likely to cross coast between Machilipatnam and Kalingapatnam around Kakinada region. Current location is not necessary to read all those things. Next, what will be the impact and rainfall? Heavy to extremely heavy rainfall recorded in the northern coastal districts. Visakhapatnam district Jatra, which records 92 millimeters, and Kapuluppada Kapuluppada has received 85 millimeters. Again, not necessary for UPSC preparation. And the high waves are also been discussed between 2 to 4.7 meter high according to inquiries. And there is a storm surge, that is 1 meter wave above astronomical tide, likely to inundate the low-lying areas. What is the storm surge? During these cyclones, what happens is, because of the velocity of the winds, the adjacent water is also surged towards the shore. So this is called as storm surges. And alert and preparedness, alert type 16 districts including Kakinada having given red alert, and 5 districts were provided orange alert. And then what is the government action? Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has provided certain directives, that is under these directives there will be real-time monitoring where hourly bulletins and updates will be provided, emergency communication with the deployment of satellite photos and extra mobile towers, power backup with 3,211 generators readied across 110 mandas, which covers 2,707 villages, and NDRF and SDRF are on standby, and quick restoration of roads, power and sanitation post-cyclone are also on the way. Health measure, that is 108 and 104 emergency vehicles, and with the focus on maternal health. So everything is taken care according to Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu. Evacuations, which include residents in vulnerable coastal belts, being shifted to rehabilitation centers, and PM Modi has assured all possible assistance in these areas. So then, what is the institutional coordination? Here the institutions are IMD, which will provide for real-time tracking and intensity forecast, and INCOIS. INCOIS will provide oceanic wave and storm surge details, and State Disaster Management Authority will provide coordination across departments for mitigation. And the analysis of this is the pattern: cyclone Monta forms post-monsoon Bay of Bengal cyclonic activity similar to the previous systems like Titli and Fani. So there will be pre-monsoon cyclonic activity, there will be post-monsoon cyclonic activity. Post-monsoon cyclonic activities are more severe, and this Monta is one such. Previously, there was Titli and Fani, which caused huge uproar and also death and destruction across India, across subcontinent of India, and they were also post-cyclonic Bay of Bengal storms. Andhra Pradesh's long coastline of 972 km makes it highly prone to tropical cyclones and reflects India's evolving multi-agency disaster-prone framework under NDMA Act as well as Sendai framework principles. A very important article again. Next, third article is about polity and governance, which discusses about CIC appointments likely in 2-3 weeks, centered till Supreme Court. What is this? CIC is Central Information Commissioner, India's top transparency watchdog under the Right to Information Act of 2005. Is currently has no Chief Information Commissioner and only 2 Information Commissioners out of the sanctioned strength of 10. Meaning, in Chief Information Commission, there has to be 1 Chief Information Commissioner and 10 Information Commissioners. At present, there is no Chief Information Commissioner, and only 2 out of 10 Information Commissioner posts have been filled. So there is need to fill these vacancies. So the center informed the Supreme Court that the appointment will be made within 2 to 3 weeks. What is the issue? CIC is currently functioning with only 2 commissioners, and Chief Information Commissioner is pending vacant, and there are 30,000 cases are pending, delaying access to information, undermining the right to information effectiveness. What is the Supreme Court concern? The court had 10 months ago directed the government to fill vacancies, but till no action has been done. So now the case is again in front of the Supreme Court. In the court hearing highlights, center petition said that shortlisted names have been sent to selection committee, which is comprising of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition of Lok Sabha, and Union Cabinet Minister nominated by the PM. So this is the selection commission or selection committee which selects the Chief Information Commissioner. Assured that the appointment will be made within 2 to 3 weeks, defending the process. Transparency stating eligibility is decided by law and not by the petitioner's opinions. And who is the petitioner here? Petitioner Prashant Bhuvan, obviously, Advocate Prashant Bhushan. He accused the center of slow choking the RT Act by delaying the appointments, alleged opacity in the selection process with names aired out without disclosure or public scrutiny. And he also called it ironic that an institution meant to promote transparency functions without transparency itself. Again, that these are all not necessary for us. What is necessary for us at the moment is this. What is Central Information Commission? It was established or constituted under Section 12 of the RTI Act of 2005, came into effect on 12th October 2005, headquartered at New Delhi, and the composition is Chief Information Commissioner and 10 Information Commissioners, and is appointed by the President of India on the recommendation of a selection committee. That selection committee, as I told you, is comprising of Prime Minister as the chairman, Leader of Opposition in the Lok Sabha, and an Union Cabinet Minister nominated by the Prime Minister. Previously, the selection committee was different, but recent RTI Act or CSE rules in the 2023 made certain amendments which replaced the CJI with the Union Cabinet Minister nominated by PM. Tenure and service conditions, that the CSE will have 3 years or until 65 years of age, whichever is earlier, as per the 2019 amendment. Sorry, not the 2023, but 2019 amendment. Removable by President on the grounds of misbehavior or incapacity, and the procedure is same as procedure is under Section 14 of the RTI Act. What are the functions and powers of CIC? That he adjudicates complaints and appeals regarding the access to information from public authorities and can order disclosure of information, impose penalties, and recommend disciplinary action for non-compliance. Acts as the final appellate authority under RTI Act. Submits an annual report to the central government which is laid before the parliament. Very important article again. Now moving on to the editorials. The first editorial for today is Big Tech Contempt for Indian Public Health. What is this? First we'll discuss the background. Since 1927, India has grappled with false or misleading drug advertisements. This concern led to Drugs and Magic Remedies Objectionable Advertisement Act of 1954, which prohibits advertisements claiming therapeutic benefits for 54 listed diseases such as diabetes, cancer, etc. It applies to all drugs, whether approved or unapproved. Next, however, in the digital age has radically transformed the advertising, moving from the print and broadcast to online platforms dominated by big tech such as Google, Meta, Amazon, YouTube, etc. etc. So this is where the problem is. Previously, whenever the advertisement was made through print or media or print or broadcast, it was subjected to this DMRA Act, which used to prohibit the advertisements which are falsely claiming therapeutic effects. But what is happening now? This Act, though covers the big tech companies, it is not able to hold these companies accountable because this has moved to online media. So that is in context we are discussing the topic. The problem is big tech and the illegal health ads. According to the author, Indian users are routinely exposed to online advertisements for unverified medicinal products. For example, Ayurvedic diabetic cures, homeopathy for blood pressure, and even cow urine cancer treatments. These are some of the advertisements that are made on the online platform. These ads clearly violates the DMRA, but platforms do not warn or restrict the advertisers under the Indian law. Okay, though the platforms are not directly involved here, they are indirectly involved by the persons who are doing these advertisements. So what should be the duty of the platform? The platform should warn or restrict the advertisements which are violating the DMRA. So that is what the article is aiming at. What are the double standards? The double standard is that in the USA, the same companies follow strict pre-screening norms for medical ads to comply with FDA laws. Yet in India, they ignore domestic health regulations, exploiting the weak enforcement. That is what the article is arguing for. If you are able to follow a rule in USA, why are you not able to follow that rule in India? Why the double standard? Why the hypocrisy? Next, legal and ethical issues here. First is the disregard for Indian law. The platforms act as publishers and not passive intermediaries. They solicit ads, sign contracts, and receive payments, and thus they knowingly publish this content. They knowingly publish this content because they sign the contracts, because they are getting the ad revenue out of the advertisements. They know that despite the lack of therapeutic effects, the advertisement is being done on their platforms. Despite knowing that, they allow this because they are getting the ad revenue. Hence, they cannot claim intermediary immunity, which is provided under the Section 79 of IT Act. They cannot claim that we are just intermediaries. We are not the one who are spreading the false advertisements. It is someone else who is spreading the false advertisement. We are just intermediaries. That is what the tech companies claim under the Section 79 Act of IT Act. But here they cannot do so because they knowingly publish this contract, knowingly do this contracts and solicit ads. So despite this, no criminal prosecutions have been pursued on these big tech companies. Next, past precedent, that is PNDT Act violation, that is under the Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Prohibition of Sex Selection Act of 1994, big tech was found violating the provisions by hosting sex determination ads. Under this act, what does it abolish? It abolishes predetermination of sex, because what was happening in India? There was female feticide. Okay, female feticide was happening in India. What was happening is, because of this sex determination, people are getting to know what is the sex of the baby. As soon as they got to know it was female, they were going for this female feticide. So to avoid this female feticide, what the government did was they banned this sex determination. When they banned the sex determinations, despite the banning of the sex determination, these sex determination ads were run on these platforms. Big tech platforms used to run the ads. Then the Supreme Court in PL 2008 or 2017 led only to formation of a committee and not punishments, emboldening the future violations. What happened in this case was, you cannot run any more sex determination ads. As a result, they agreed to this. They said we will not run these ads. Despite running the ads previously, they were not given any punishments. They were only given warning. As a result, they stopped doing these ads. But there is a precedent already set. Despite that, what the big tech companies are doing, they are selling these particular ads without any therapeutic effect. Next, what are the systematic factors behind the impunity? First is the corporate racism and the contempt. That is a colonial attitude that undervalues Indian lives compared to the Western ones. Because obviously, you are adhering to the laws in the USA, you are adhering to the laws in the other countries, in European countries, but you are not adhering to the laws in India, which means you are undervaluing the Indian lives compared to the Western lives. Judicial leniency. Also, there is an issue from India internally as well. That is, courts' reluctance to enforce criminal accountability under the DMRA or PNTD also encourages these tech companies to go for such contracts. Then legal loopholes, that is Indian subsidiaries are separate legal entities from the US parent companies. Thus, prosecution of the local employees is very difficult and extradition of US-led based executives is nearly impossible. Then, public health implications. India has high levels of self-medication and weak consumer protection in health. Misleading ads promote unsafe self-treatment and erode trust in the medical regulation and exploit nationalist sentiment around the traditional cause. Then, this undermines both public health as well as evidence-based medicine. Next, what should be the way forward then? Way forward should be criminal prosecution. That is, file complaints against the management of big companies or big tech platforms under the DMRA. If you cannot sue the parent company, at least sue the executives which are handling the Indian cases. Next, regulatory reform. Mandate that key managerial personnel, that is KMPs, responsible for the ad policies be Indian citizens based in India and legally accountable. Okay, only then you will be able to hold them accountable. If he is a citizen of USA and he is working as key manager persons of Google India, of Microsoft India, then even though the ads are being done on their platform, they won't be held accountable because he is not from India. He is a citizen of USA. Then there are complications. Then there has to be extradition, which US ambassador doesn't want to. So that is why these key manager personnel should be Indians, so that whenever there is such kind of issues, they can be held accountable. Mirror US policy towards TikTok, which enforces local accountability for global platforms. India should start doing this as well. Then withdraw intermediary immunity. That is, platforms don't enforce Indian laws on ads should lose their immunity under the IT Act. Next is sovereign enforcement. That is, India must ensure that big tech companies respect the domestic laws and not just the US regulations. And finally, this is an article, very important article, beautiful article with a very important examples as well. You can use these examples whenever you talk about sovereignty, whenever you talk about public health. Next, moving on to the second editorial for the day is the race for global leadership in science. What is this? The global science and technology landscape is witnessing a dramatic shift. What is the shift is? The shift is the United States, traditionally the undisputed leader in innovation since World War II, is now facing internal disruption and funds cut, while China's steady rise continues through sustained investment and data policy focus. Okay, so from the USA, the focus is moving towards elsewhere, mainly the China. The author argues for US decline. What does he say? The Trump administration's massive cuts to federal research funding, that is for NIH by 25%, NSH by 56%, and for NASA for 9%, have destabilized the research ecosystem. Over 4,000 research grants have been cancelled. Brain drain is accelerating as the foreign researchers and students are leaving the USA because of $1 lakh H1B visa fee. Okay, H1B visa fee. So programs like mRNA vaccine initiative and the USAID global health projects face drastic reductions because the government is cutting down all the federal grants. Next, the China initiative and the visa tightening have driven thousands of Chinese scientists back home, weakening the US innovation. So what was previously happening for most of the countries was that their brain was going to USA because they were getting better standard of life as well, along with better salary, better healthcare, etc., etc. They are getting better standard of life in USA. As a result, they were able to attract all the brain from all around the world, be it India, China, etc., etc. Now what is happening is these safe life or standard of life are diminishing in USA. There is targeted attack on outsiders in USA. There is Make in America Great campaign led by Trump administration itself, and also these visa cuts, etc., etc., visa shocks, etc., etc., is forcing this brain out of USA to other countries. And one of the best beneficiary out of this USA's out of drain theory is China. What is China doing is, so China saw this as an opportunity. If most of the people are going out of USA because USA has made $1 lakh shock or fee on the visa, then let us open a visa which is very easy to get. Let us open a visa or let us open a channel where it is easier for the brain to come in China and do the research. So they started K1 visa initiative, which is exactly opposite of H1B visa initiative, with less fees and very easy to move to China. So that is what happening. The China initiative plus the K1 visa is resulting in most of that brain which was previously drained from China to USA, or the brain which was in USA is being brought back to China. Okay. Next, this has led to China's rise. That is, since the 1990s, initiatives such as Project 211 and Project 985 and the C9 League have transformed Chinese universities into global leaders. In the Nature Index 2024, 8 of the top 10 research institutions were Chinese. The Chinese Academy of Sciences ranked above the Harvard itself. China now produces 27% of the world's most cited papers, surpassing the USA. Its AI leadership is unmatched, accounting for 40% of the AI publications and 29% of the citations, according to the Stanford AI Index 2023. And in research and development funding, China spends $780.7 billion, growing at 8.7% annually, compared to USA's $823 billion, which is growing at only 1.7% growth. So strategic plans like the Made in China 2025, STA Mega Program 2030 and the medium and long term plan for S&T aim to dominate quantum computing, AI and semiconductors. So what USA did post World War II what USA would do post World War II is being replicated by China now. Okay, they have been replicating this from the 1990s, which has made China achieve all these things. Now, in the moving forward with the challenges that are being faced by Indians, Chinese, etc., in USA, they will have better opportunities in China. So China is making the best benefit out of these things. So what will be the global implications of it? The center of gravity in science and technology is shifting from the west to Asia. The USA's brain drains contrast with China's brain gain and expanding global research influence. If the current trend continues, China may surpass USA within 2-3 years as the world's top spender and the producer in S&T. This transition will reshape the geopolitical balance, innovation networks, and the norms of global science collaboration. So this is like one's losses, another one's gains. So here the loss is USA's and the gain is China. But USA doesn't seem to be bothered. Okay. So what should be the role of India here? India needs to, if India is not able to attract the global brain, at least India should hold or maintain or retain the brain that is already there in India. For that, India should provide more fundings to research and development, improve the standard of living for scientists, improve the innovation ecosystem in India. Okay, next previous pointer. The first one is the Son River. Why is it in news? It was in news because recently 2 people died in Son River during the Chhat Puja. So the what is Son River? Son River, also called as Son, is the principal southern tributary of the Ganges River or Ganga River after Yamuna. It flows through the states of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, and Bihar. It originates in Amarkantak Highlands in Madhya Pradesh in the east direction of the origin of Narmada River. So Amarkantak Plateau. So it has a radial drainage. So like most of the rivers are originating in the Amarkantak trail. If the west flowing Narmada originates here, so Son also originates in the same area as well. Okay, and other rivers are Godavari, Mahanadi. So not the Godavari, Mahanadi, Venganga, Penganga also originate from the like Amarkantak. It then flows into the northwest direction through Madhya Pradesh before turning in the east direction. The river starts flowing in the parallel direction of the Kaimur range in the east-northeast direction through Uttar Pradesh and Bihar and joins the Ganga River just above Patna. And the total length is around 784 kilometers. It is a wide and shallow river and forms pools of water in the remaining ports of the river. The flood plain of the water is narrow and is only 3 to 5 kilometers wide. The river's flow is seasonal and the Son is unimportant for navigation. Son Valley is geopolitically almost a continuation of that of Narmada River in the south to the southwest, and it is largely forested and sparsely populated. The valley is bordered by the Kaimur range to the north and Chotanagpur Plateau to the south. Whenever I am explaining these kind of things with respect to Indian geography, you open the open atlas with India, especially in this open atlas of central Indian region. Okay. Tributaries, the main tributaries are Rihand River and the Koel, and the other tributaries are Gopal River and Kannar River. Dehri is the major town situated in the Son River, and the dams are Bansagar Dam in Madhya Pradesh, Rihand Dam in Uttar Pradesh, and Indrapuri Barrage in Bihar. A very important river in the Central Indian region. Next, INS Mahe. What is this? Kochi Shipyard Limited recently delivered the first of its 8 anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft, ASWSWC. INS Mahe, indigenously designed and built by Indian Navy. So what is this INS Mahe? It is the first of the 8 anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft of the Indian Navy. It is indigenously built and designed by the Cochin Shipyard Limited. Designed for a wide range of coastal defense missions, Mahe is equipped with underwater surveillance, research and rescue duties, low intensity maritime operation, and complex mine laying tasks. Next feature is ship's design reflects extensive indigenous input and over 90% of the components sourced domestically. 78-meter long vessel is the largest Indian naval warship powered by diesel engine. You have to remember this. It is powered by diesel engine water jet propulsion system. Normally, what UPSC does is it plays with words. Instead of diesel engine, they might change this with nuclear powered engine, which makes the statement wrong. So since normally the nuclear powered engines or nuclear powered submarines or nuclear powered vessels are in the news most of the times, what we think is, we think maybe since it is very new, since it is very indigenous, maybe it may be powered by nuclear power, but not the case in this one. The advanced propulsion system ensures superior maneuverability and a reduced acoustic signature, crucial in anti-submarine operations carried out in littoral waters. Its compact design and high agility makes it ideal for operations in shallow waters where conventional destroyers and frigates face navigational constraints. These ships are equipped with one RBU 6000 anti-submarine rocket launcher and two sets of lightweight torpedo tube launchers for launching anti-submarine torpedoes. This is for today's news analysis. I think I covered it holistically. If you want, you can read one more editorial which is very important in the Hindu, and also some of the articles are not very necessary for you, so you can skip rest of the articles. So if you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss a notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.